Society is too fucking sensitive. See, I'm sure some of you right now just got offended because I used the word fuck. But you see, a word is just a word. It's you who gives it power. It's you who gives it that negative connotation. It's as simple as that. Right now in our school, I'm sure it's going on in a couple schools, there's a campaign going around to stop using the word retarded. Or spread the word to end the word. Spread the word ridiculous instead of the word retarded. And I honestly find that, in all respect, retarded. Because what's the point? It's a word. It's going to be said, and you can't stop that. We have the freedom of speech here in America. It's a beautiful thing, and we're going to use it. It's not something you can prevent. We're going to cuss. We're going to say disrespectful things. And there's nothing you can do about that. That's just what's going to happen. And what really needs to happen is society needs to lighten up. Honestly. Like, there are just some jokes here that, people just get way too offended by. Like, someone will say a black joke, and they're like, oh, he's a racist. No, if he were a racist, he'd be sitting over there with the kids that are wearing the camouflage jackets. See, look, there's another stereotype that I'm sure rednecks, which is a stereotypical name, find very offensive. Why? Actually, a lot of rednecks that I know are proud to be rednecks, so never mind about that. But what is the point of being offended? What does that gain you? It does nothing. All that does is make you look vulnerable. My dog's rolling around on the floor like an idiot. Anyways, it makes you look weak. You're taking offense, so they're going to keep doing it because it's offending you. It's simple. See, when people try to offend me, I play off of their jokes and make it even worse than what they said. That way, they can't say anything more. I mean, it's just, there's no use in being offended. Like, with that new movie coming out, what was it, like Bully or whatever, how it was rated, like, it was going to be rated R because, there was, like, cussing and stuff in it, and it was little kids cussing and stuff, and apparently that's, inappropriate. But that movie was to show people how, like, a life of a kid being bullied is. So what's the point of taking that away from the kids that are in that gray level that know what's going on? Clearly, if this is happening elsewhere, like if this is happening in the movie, it's happening elsewhere. This is real life. Like, these things happen. And I find that ridiculous, why that movie would have been rated R, because that movie was just basically to show what really goes on in our lives. And honestly, I think that kids that say that bullying really affected them in a negative way, I understand why that is, but I actually know a lot of kids where bullying has affected them in a positive way. Like, this one kid I know he wasn't obese, but he was a bigger kid in middle school. And then in, kids where you would make fun of him sometimes. And then in, now he's like this muscular, like, just, he started working out. And he got less fat, and he's like muscular now and skinny. And I feel, and he admits it, he says, those kids making fun of me, it pushed me to better myself. So I really think it depends on, like, how you take it. Instead of taking it as offense, you should take it as constructive criticism. You should take it as something that people are seeing in you, and they're being, I mean, I almost feel like bullying is just being brutally honest sometimes. Some people think that that's bullying. And I feel like that's why our society is too sensitive. Society. But that's why our society is too sensitive. Also, I think it's completely ridiculous, that campaign that Santorum was against porn. That is just, I mean, he's out of the race now, which I'm really sad about, because, it's really easy to make a video about him, just talking about him, because he was just, it was unbelievable how much support he was getting for just the type of things he was saying and whatnot. But anyways, like that anti-porn campaign he was running, or like when parents say, oh, kids like, the 18 plus stuff, and all, like, the kids like shouldn't be on those websites, and like gaming, when, like, there's like nudity in gaming, how that should be all censored. I just think that's ridiculous. I mean, kids are going to be introduced to it eventually. So why not introduce it to them now? Why not introduce it to them early, so they know about it earlier, so they know what, like, what things are, so they're not confused in the future. Or I mean, it's eventually going to happen, so why not let it happen in a controlled, safe environment where I mean, you never know what's going to happen in the future if it's not like in a safe environment. Like wow, I just realized I say like a lot. Sorry if that's annoying, but shit. Now I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Nudity. Good stuff. Anyways, like with like censorship on TV, I think that's completely ridiculous. That is completely ridiculous because if your kid isn't like, they shouldn't be watching that channel if there's stuff like that on there. I mean, clearly people go to that channel maybe to see those things, or because they enjoy that humor or whatever it is that's being censored out. Like cuss words are getting censored out on TV. That's completely ridiculous. Because people say that in real life, and like people are all like, "Oh, don't introduce kids to such negative words so early; it'll affect them." No, words don't really affect people. Like if I mean, okay, so usually when you're cussing, you're angry or you're trying to emphasize a point. But oftentimes it's just you're just using a word because it's a word. I mean, it's a word. Um, Also about the point of like educating kids earlier about like sexuality and whatnot. Like I think it was Mississippi, which is the most Christian state. You can draw a correlation if you want. I do, but they had the highest teen pregnancy rate because in their education system you don't learn sex ed until later, and I feel like there's a direct correlation to that, and also somewhat Christianity because in the higher Christian areas, birth control and that sort of stuff is looked down upon. Um, and and it also like with the later sex education, these kids don't know what to do. They're like, oh, what's a condom? How do you what is this contraption? So I feel like there's a direct correlation to that, and that's just another point to bring up is that I mean, if things are learned earlier, things can be dealt with earlier, and things can be more successful in the future. Um, it's basically it today. Oh, and I'm wearing, a suit and a shirt because today in school I had an interview, which was really fun. I love interviews because I just get to talk like I talk like this, but I don't know. It's entertaining, and that's just why I was too lazy to take my clothes off. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and happy Friday. Also, those Supernatural fans out there, I'm sad there's no Supernatural episode tonight. I know you probably don't care about my personal opinion. That's an amazing show. And I'm just sad there's no episode tonight. I'm going to miss my Dean and Sam and whatnot. Oh, and Bobby. You guys see Bobby in this episode? God, I miss Bobby. Yeah. Have a nice weekend, everybody. Bye.